Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do a quick and easy way of finding temple work to do for your ancestors on Family Search. The first thing you need, and this works easiest on a phone or a tablet. And so I've got an Android phone and an iPad. So I'm going to show you the Android and the Apple way of doing it as far as I know, because I don't have an iPhone, so I don't know on the iPhone. But the Android, you've got the little circle icon for the app. This is more of a square icon for the Apple, but basically same tree. Okay. When you sign in, this is going to look the same, and I will tell you whenever they'll be different. Okay. So this is going to look the same, and it brings you to your tree. And to go back further on your tree, you just click these arrows and take your back as far as you want to go. So to do this, I want to find somebody who was born about 1900, maybe a little bit before or a little bit after, but I cannot do temple work for anyone who isn't 110 years old. So 1914 is my 110 years right now. So it needs to, I don't want to go further closer than that. So I stick to about 1900. So I look, and I've got Grandpa. And Grandpa was born about 1895. So he's perfect. This works perfectly for what I'm doing. So I've got Grandpa, 1895, awesome. I'm going to go back 5 generations from him. So I'm not going to start with him. The first generation will be Great-Grandpa Thomas. So I'm going to go Thomas here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and that brings me to John and Anne. And they're going to have the same descendants. So it doesn't matter. I'm just going to click on John, because that's going to bring me to his person page, is what I like to call it. Sorry about that. I tapped a little hard. So this brings me to his person page, and that's, I need to be there so that I can go to my menu right here. So on the Android, the menu, the dots go up and down like this. I click on the menu, and Descendants with Task is what I want. So I'm going to use Descendants with Task to find temple work. So I'm going to click on that. On the Apple, the dots, same place, go in the opposite direction. Okay, but Descendants with Task are still there. So just click on the Descendants with Task, and now I have my whole list of temple work that needs to be done and record hints. Okay, so and I'm going to change a few things, and it doesn't matter what order you change these in. I'm going to change from 3 generations to 5 generations. I just click on here, gives me a drop down, gives me the 5 generations. Same thing on the Apple. Click on 3 generations, go to 5 generations. So when I click on the 5 generations, now I've got my 5 generations, and I want to change my filter. Okay, so I'm going to go to the filter, click on the filter, and click to just temple. And then over here on the Apple, this did not show. I had to pull down, and then this was at the top. So just pull down on it. This is at the top, change it to temple instead of all. Okay, so we're going to go to temple. Okay, so now I've got just temple work. The record hints that are on there with temple will stay there. You just don't have ones that are just record hints. Okay, so now I want to go and gather up temple work. So let's look at this first, though. My symbols, the circle, the green circle, with just the temple, no little circle, I have 3 years to get those done in. Okay, so for people like me that has a lot of temple work already gathered, I don't want to take any with the time bomb, is what I call it, because I have 4 months. I will not get that done in 4 months. And I've got a ton that I need to get done. So I'm sticking with no time bomb. But if you don't have a lot, this really helps those ancestors of yours, those relatives of yours that have gathered it up and shared it with the temple. It helps a ton to get that work done. So if you can get it done, grab it and get it done. That's awesome. Okay, the other one is the orange one. It just means they need more information. And a lot of times you can go to them, go to their sources, and it's there. Somebody just didn't put it in the right spots. Okay, they need a birth date in place, or a death date in place, or marriage date in place. So this is Mrs. G.H. Graham. I might be able to get her information from, if I click on her and there's her husband, it might give me the kids. And if I know when and where her first kid was born, I know that they would have got married about a year before in that place. And I can do an about and give her that place. And then she has a date and place, and her temple work can be done. If I don't have that, like I say, go to sources or look and see where all the kids are from, and then I'll know that she was born in probably that same area if they're all in the same area. And I look for holes, or just put an about and a year in there. So you can get years, and it's okay to do an about in a place, because that's where you're going to start researching. And really, she just needs more research. So, and it's a good way to start researching. So then I hit continue. Oh, wait, nope, right here. Sorry, don't hit continue yet. Here we go. So this is what I found, and I went in on Mary Hone is who I went in on, because she didn't have the little circle, remember? But now here she does. And so that happens quite often with me. I'll go in on one that doesn't have a little circle on it, and here she does have that time clock, the time bomb, what I call it, but the time clock thing. But luckily for her, I am caught up on selling to parents, and I need more. So I will take her, and I will get it done. I will have it done before you ever even watch this thing, because I'll have it done tomorrow. So I'm going to take that one, but I'm not taking the endowment. I can't get that done. I have too many. So I'm going to take that one. This says, are you going to comply with the temple ordinance policy? And that just means they're related to you somehow. You know, they're aunts, uncles, cousins. They are related somehow, adoptive, biological, adoptive, or foster even. And you can also do possible ancestors, which means in Trimley St. Martin, Suffolk, England, this little teeny tiny town in England, Suffolk, England, they have bugs, Buggs, and they are my husband's relatives. And I've got a lot of them attached to his line, but there's some of them still in there that I have not figured out how they're related, but they're most likely related. I can do their work, and that's fine. So I click the square, and I put add to reserve family names, okay? Now, this one, remember, this has no time clock, so I have 3 years. This has the time clock, I have 4 months. Take what you want, unclick what you don't want, click on the square, and then hit add to your family name, okay? And that is going to make it so that they're in the temple thing for you. This is what they look like if there's no duplicates. If there's duplicates, they'll look like this. And that's the same way on both. Okay, now right here, after I get people put into my temple thing, I need to be able to get them out and do their work or share them or something. I need to do something with them. I can't just leave them sitting in there. So right down here on the apple, that's where you find your temple. And that's how you get to your temple list, okay? That is different on the Android. On the Android, on the phone, I have to go to this menu off to the left here with the 3 lines. I click on it, and my temple is there. So that's how I get to it there. So either way, if you go to your temple, it will take you to my reservations, okay? And then I click what I want to do. So right here, I've taken Ralph because nobody had him. Now, I am not going to get him done. I've got, like I said, way too many, right? But I'm going to share him to the temple so he has a better chance of getting done. At least a 50%, maybe 75% greater chance of getting his work done when I share him to the temple than if I just leave him sitting out there for maybe, hopefully, somebody might run across him, find him. So I don't like to leave him sitting there. I want to get him in line. So I want to put him in line, because even if somebody doesn't come and take one of those little time bombs from me, of the ones that I've shared, he's in line to go to the next temple that needs a name. And so either way, he's in line. So I want to take him and add him to my temple list. And I took him and added him to my temple list, but now I want to share him with the temple. So I'm going to click there. Now, if I was going to take him to the temple and get it done, I would hit take to the temple and I would print his name. Share is right here. Unreserve is, oops, I didn't mean to grab him. I don't have time to do him. I'm going to unreserve him and put him back in line with the shared that I took him from. But I want to share him, this one, oh, he wasn't shared. So I can unreserve him and leave him out there for somebody else to find. Okay, so I'm going to share him. So right here it says share with an individual, temple, or group. Okay, I'm going to share him with the temple. But I can share him with an individual. I can send him, put in the email address for the individual I want to share him with and send him to her. And if she clicks the link and accepts it, then she'll get that one. But she can also just get it by going to it on the tree and taking the green temple with the little time clock on it. Okay? and then share with the group. I've got a Versi group that I've made, and you guys can make a group of family, which is my husband's family, and I put the ones that are related to him in there, and I share them with them, and then they can easily get a name if they want to take one to the temple. Right here it says, what do you want to share? I want to share everything. So I'm going to click on everything, and I'm going to share it with the temple. I just go continue, and it will share. Now, President Nelson has told us that we should be gathering Israel on both sides of the veil. He didn't say to pick enough for dinner, go to one tree and pick enough for dinner. He said to harvest and gather. When we harvest and gather, we go to the orchard. And this is a huge, huge, big orchard, probably as far as the eyes can see, people waiting to get their temple work done. So what he wants us to do is gather them up and then share them to the temple so that their work gets done quicker than if we leave them hanging out there waiting for somebody else to wander through the orchard and maybe find them. So make sure you gather and you share. Don't wait. I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm going to get the work done that I've got, and then I'll go find some more. No, if you find, like if you're in there and you find them or you're doing this, gather them all up. Put them in to the temple, and then share what you, keep what you can get done and print those and share the rest. And then when you're done with what you printed, go into your shared, take the oldest ones first, so you're rotating like your food storage, okay? Take the oldest ones first, print them, and do them next. So that you're always putting more into your shared, but when you're ready to take ready for more names, you're taking them out of the shared and you're taking the oldest ones first. Okay? It works so much better. So at this point, you've got the information you need. You can do this. I am going to go over how to do possible duplicates for those of you who need that. But you can either look at your possible duplicates and do those. You can skip those and just take the ones that don't have duplicates. That works too. If you know how to do duplicates, you're good from here on out, and you don't really need the rest of this. So, but for those who want to see how to do duplicates, they really are not as hard as people. Sometimes they're hard, but a lot of times they're not that hard. So I just want to show you. This one has lots of duplicates. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know that I want to do this. But don't panic. Okay, this one, he's almost done. This one, nobody's got him. He's waiting. He's not in a shared, he's waiting. And he's got dates. That's good. This one, no dates. Still waiting, but no dates. So I want to take the one with the dates. So I'm going to go ahead and do view duplicates for William. So I'd hit view duplicates for William. And it takes me to here. And it says, okay, there's 2 possible duplicates. But look, I've got good information. I've got a date and a place. I've got good information. I can match this up. So I'm going to go ahead and say review merge. It's going to take me to this big warning sign. It just says, the computer is not always smarter than you. You are sometimes smarter than the computer, especially when it comes to merging. So the computer uses certain criteria, and it gathers up people who might be the same, but they might not. So it just wants you to realize that and understand that, and not just automatically think, oh, the computer's smarter than me. Sure, it's the same. No, look at them carefully. Okay, now I don't know why it brings you to the screen that it does. See how they're not right across from each other? These two are not the same people. I want them lined up well. So I just scroll down to the bottom of that where it says, yes, continue. This is not yes, merge it, continue. This is yes, I want to look at it better. Oops. Yes, I want to look at it better. Please send me to the screen that puts them right across from each other. So it takes me to here, and everything's right across from each other. So when I look at this, everything's lined up. So the birth dates are lined up. And the month is here. Here's not a month. I want the month. So I'm going to hit the arrow, which will make it come over to here and take the place of this. Now, when I did that, I did lose the England, United Kingdom, but that's super easy to put back in. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. It's a lot easier than remembering all the months. So I'm going to take that over, and a lot of times the computer will put it in for you. Also on the death, same thing. I've got July. Here I just have the year. It's the same place and everything. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to merge that in, and it's right here now. Okay, so I brought it over. Here's Hannah. This Hannah, she has a marriage date. This one does not. This one can have her temple work done because she has a date and a place. This one cannot. Okay, I don't want to lose the marriage information. I want that. So I'm definitely going to bring this one over, even though they're exactly the same Hannah. If you look at her ID number, exactly the same Hannah. I want to bring that marriage date over. I don't want to lose it. So I brought that over. Okay? And then the final thing is he has parents, and I didn't have them there. So the computer automatically put them over here, but I can undo that if I don't want to take them or if I don't believe that's true. So, but this looks good. So yeah, I'm taking them. Okay, and I hit continue. It says, why are we merging these people? Well, all information does, I have never used all. Okay, this had different, like May, one had May, had the month, and the other one had the year. Like there was different information. One had the name of the place, but not the England part. So most of the information was the same. But it's close enough that I feel like there was no major conflicts, maybe a few minor, but there was no major conflicts in it or anything. Most of the information is the same. I feel confident that this is good. And then I hit the merge. Okay? Now, Hannah is another one that has duplicates. We're going to hit her. Hannah, and it's trying to merge her with Anna Maria Weg. Oh, okay. Why would the computer do that? Well, the reason why the computer would do that is because Hannah could go by Anne, because Hannah's went by Anne and Anna all the time. The different names could be a maiden name and a married name from a previous marriage, and her husband died and she's getting remarried. So that could explain that. She is married to the same husband. And so that's why it picked it up. Okay? So it gives you that warning. I'm going to look at it and see what I think. So this time as I go through, I'm going to look at the information that's here. So the birth is 1842 and 1847. The Warwickshire is the same, but the towns are different. The years are different. I'm really feeling more like this is a first wife, second wife kind of thing going on here. There's James, Henry. They're both married to the exact same guy. They have the exact same children. Okay, so I've got to figure out whose kids are whose. But if I go here and go into here, so I wanted to check this marriage thing to see what Maria said her mother was. Maria did say her mother is Anne Maria. And Maria is one of those kids I would have thought was Hannah's. But when I look at it, 1871 census, Hannah was the mother. 1881 census, Anna Maria was the mother. Okay, so that means that Hannah died. Well, and the kids, too. The other part that is a real giveaway is the kids were born until 1875, and there's a 6-year gap. And then you've got Anne with them and a baby that was just born in 1881. So Dad must have remarried about 1880-ish to Anne, and they had a baby. Okay? The census records will tell you they're all sons and daughters because they do the relationship based on the father. It doesn't base it on the mother. So I believe that Anne is the second wife of James Hone and is a stepmother to all the children who were born before 1881. And that this is not a match. These are two different women. So not a match and not a match. Okay? The only other thing that I'm going to go over really quick is this one says that this one was merged, Thomas Hone was merged together and then restored. Somebody went, oops, oh, that's not true. So I want to check to see out what's going on with this. So I go down through here, I hit the yes, continue, I get everything lined up, the kids are the same, still trying to figure it out. I actually went to the father on this one to see if I wanted to see if they were in Barcheston, Warwickshire, in the 1851 census, if the dad was, because that's where the kid was. I wanted to see if they're in the same place. And so I went to the father, and he died in Barcheston, 1854. That's good. Okay, but the part that's not so good is after he died, he was in the 1871, 81, and 91 census records in Oxfordshire. So what you've got here is two different families, two William fathers having two Thomas's sons in two different areas. And as I checked further, one of the kids had two 1881 censuses. Thomas, I think, had two 1881 censuses attached to him, one for Oxfordshire and one for Barcheston, Warwickshire. So those need to just be fixed. Okay, so that's basically it. If you have any questions or concerns, really, if you need help on merging the name, write down the name of the person and their ID number, and you can go to your family history consultant in your ward. You can go to a family search center for help. And if you don't have either of those available or around you, you can call Family Search Helpline and they will help you. So you can get lots of help in many different ways to try and figure out the duplicates if you want to do it. If you're like, oh, I'm just not ready for that, skip them. Just skip them for right now. Get used to doing these other things and maybe later on you'll feel like you're ready for it. Okay? Thank you.